My name's Mark, and I'm here to read you a very special Christmas bedtime story. Are you sitting comfortably? Are you sure? Why don't you wriggle around a little bit and find the most comfortable spot? Or if you're sitting next to your grown-up, why don't you snuggle in nice and tight? There, that's better. The story we're going to read is The Camel Who Found Christmas. It was time. Deep in the night under the star-bright sky, 3 wise men had loaded up their 3 tall camels and were ready to begin their journey. But the littlest camel was still fast asleep. Mama Camel nuzzled him with her silky nose. "Time to go, little one," she whispered. The littlest camel blinked dreamily. "Oh, time to go where?" "It's Christmas," Mama Camel replied. "Look up in the sky. We're following a star to meet a king." "What king?" the littlest camel asked. "The most important king in the world," murmured Mama Camel. "Jesus, the Son of God." The littlest camel frowned and shook his head. "Then I can't come with you," he sighed. "Why would a king want to meet me? I'm just not big enough." Mama Camel's eyes were soft and kind. "Nonsense," she said. "Everyone's big enough to meet King Jesus." So the 3 wise men set off riding their 3 tall camels, and the littlest camel trotted quietly along behind. But as the shadows flickered silently in the starlight all around, the littlest camel began to think, Suppose the king lives in a huge glittering palace with stately walls and marvelous towers and hundreds of candles to light the hundreds of stairs. How can I possibly go there? A royal palace is no place for a camel like me. And the still night air felt colder and colder, and the littlest camel felt smaller and smaller. And at last he called out, "It's no good, I can't come with you. Why would a king want to meet me? I'm just not important enough." Mama Camel's voice was gentle and calm. "Silly," she soothed. "Everyone's important enough to meet King Jesus." So the 3 tall camels carrying the 3 wise men traveled on, and the littlest camel trekked slowly along behind. But as the clouds threaded their wispy way between the twinkling stars, and the only sound was the flump, flump of the camel's feet on the sandy ground, he began to wonder. Suppose the king's friends are all rich and grand, with rippling robes and rustling coats, and rows of jewels gleaming on their delicate fingers and toes. How can I possibly visit a king with them? They'd want nothing to do with a camel like me. And the lonely night felt darker and darker, and the littlest camel felt poorer and poorer. And suddenly he declared, "It's no good, I can't come with you. Why would a king want to meet me? I'm just not smart enough." Mama Camel's smile was comforting and warm. "Hush now," she said. "Everyone's smart enough to meet King Jesus." So the 3 tall camels carrying the 3 wise men marched on, and the littlest camel pottered thoughtfully along behind. He began to grow tired, and a chilly breeze ruffled his short brown coat. "Mama Camel," he asked, "how much farther to the king?" "As far as the star takes us," Mama Camel replied. Then the littlest camel began to worry. Supposing the king is fierce and proud, with cold hard eyes and a brilliant kingly crown on his dazzling kingly head. How can I possibly stand in front of him? A mighty king will have no time for a camel like me. And the littlest camel felt sadder and sadder, and his small dusty feet plodded slower and slower, until finally Mama Camel asked, "What's the matter, little one?" "It's no good," he sniffed. I can't come with you. Why would a king want to meet me? I'm just not special enough." Then all at once, one wise man cried, "Stop!" Mama Camel glanced high in the sky as a star hung still. "Of course you're special enough. Everyone's special enough to meet King Jesus. And anyway," she announced, "we've arrived." The littlest camel peered nervously into the shadows. "Arrived where?" he quivered. "I thought we were going to meet a king." "And so we are," she replied. But instead of a huge palace, in front of them stood an old, dirty stable. And when the littlest camel peered inside, there was no grand visitors, just a few poor shepherds. And although he looked around and around, he simply saw no sign of the king. "I don't understand," he frowned. "Where's King Jesus?" Mama Camel's face was radiant with delight. "There," she murmured, "right there. And there, right there, fast asleep on a jumble of damp, dusty straw, lay little King Jesus." "You mean that's the king?" the littlest camel asked. "But he's so small." "Exactly," Mama Camel nodded. "Small enough to welcome a little brown camel like you. King Jesus wasn't born to live in a palace. He was born so that anyone can be close to him, even the poorest shepherd. He wasn't born to live like a king. He was born to show us the way to God." For one hushed moment, the littlest camel stood thinking. Then his ears began to twitch and tingle, and a smile chased the frown from his little brown face. And as he crept closer, he beamed. Then it's true. Anyone can meet King Jesus because King Jesus wants to meet anyone. "Everyone, anywhere," Mama Camel replied. "King Jesus was born for the whole world." The end. Maybe as you drift off to sleep tonight, you can remember how loved you are. You can remember that no matter how big or how small you feel, that King Jesus loves you. And that's the most important gift and present we have in this season. It's time for bed. Good night. Sleep tight. We'll see you in the morning for our Christmas service at 10:30. Merry Christmas. Hey, you're supposed to be sleeping. Good night.